Alright, guys, welcome back. We are watching ReZero Season 2, Episode 5. Last time, we had the best episode ever, where, I guess as the show said it, we faced Subaru's past, so... I don't know what Echidna's up to. I mean, this is all part of her trial, or part of this ordeal. I'm wondering, at this point, like, I don't know, because I was talking about Echidna, like, manipulating Subaru, essentially. That's certainly what it seemed like, right? I mean, it was a pretty feeble attempt that failed immediately. So I'm just curious, like, if this is some kind of furtherance of that goal. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm very curious what these two are going to say to each other. I'm also curious about Amelia, because if Amelia is also facing her past, I'm worried about that. So, I don't know. Let's watch episode 5. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1... Okay, sure. Man, she even got dressed up too, huh? It's literally. Man, never worn anything like that, huh? That's kind of crazy though, isn't it? What this is kind of crazy because this obviously means Echidna, like what? Knows about the world Subaru came from, right? Isn't that kind of crazy? You know what I mean? Like, I guess we don't know how this works exactly, if this was formed from his memories or from his head. But that's kind of insane, isn't it? Because, like, I mean, she is a witch, right? And if we're assuming that, it was like Satella that brought Subaru into this world, that kind of seems like the obvious, right? Because it seems like he is being used as a tool for Satella's purposes. Then it makes sense, of course, that Satella at least would, like, know about Subaru's world in some sense. But I don't know. Very interesting. Because this is, like, the first true connection we're having between the real world and the world Subaru's in now, you know what I mean? And a character knowing about it that we can, like, talk to, right? That's kind of crazy. Man, this is the second time we get this opening. I didn't even pay attention. Oh well, I'm sure we'll get it again. Surely we'll get it more than once, right? I mean, with this show, you never know. Pink girl. Don't want to forget about her. All right. Okay. Yeah, recreated from his memories. Yeah, yeah. Makes sense, of course. Right, right. Yeah, and now he remembers again. Is he gonna forget again after he stops talking to her? Okay. Makes sense. I wonder what the risk is, though. Why does she need to keep it a secret, right? Hmm. Okay. Like, come on. I'm wondering, is this gonna, I don't know, is this gonna help her goal of weaseling her way into Subaru's heart? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? It wasn't his real parents, of course, but it's a memory. Interesting. So maybe, yeah, I mean, it's almost like you could say it could be some kind of, characterized version of his parents, even. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hmm. Like, she's immediately trying to undermine all of that, you know? Yeah, yeah. Interesting. I mean, yeah, what matters is if it's real to Subaru or not, right? The way he views it, right? I wonder why Echidna would even want to try and undermine it so much like that. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, it would be hard to make like a perfect, That's actually a good point, right? It's hard to believe that a perfect copies of them could be created purely from Subaru's memories, you know? Ah, we got more to go. I expected that. That's well, no, this is just step one. Yeah, come on. Oh God. Oh man. What? Okay. Thanks. Interesting. Our time is up. Will he remember this time? Okay. What like? Hmm. It still helped either way, right? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's weird because it seemed like her goal was some kind of well, I don't know. I guess I don't know what her goal was with all of that, right? Why would she present this to him and then immediately try and undermine it like that? What was she trying to make him feel? For what purpose? Oh, really? Amelia, of course, right. Amelia will do it. Hmm. I feel like we're messing with something that we don't understand, you know? Like, why does Echidna want Subaru to do this exactly, right? Like, what? Hmm. Doesn't remember Echidna. Doesn't remember Echidna. Oh, how's she handling it? Yeah. Because, I mean, I think from her past, there's worse things than what Subaru's had to deal with, right? Okay. And oh, like she's shivering, like the cold. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I think I think we know what she had to face in her past, right? It's like she's shivering from the cold. It's talking about how she thinks she isn't the one who did it, you know. Hmm. But can we even trust it? That's the question. If Echidna is fabricating these from I wish. Where is Puck? Where is Puck? Man, but Puck is related to Echidna in some weird way. We'll talk about that, about Amelia. Well, I mean, so what, is that right? I mean, we cleared the first part of it, right? Or did Amelia not clear it, I assume, right? She was unable to face it. Okay. Well, let's hear it. Come on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, they still made it in. Can we still make it out? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there has to be something stopping that, right? Or they would have left a while ago. No, there has to be something stopping it, right? Who is talking? Oh, Pink Girl. A soulless shell. Oh, like their souls are trapped here, huh? Yeah. I said, whoa. Why would you do that? Interesting. Okay, sure. Yeah, like she stopped him from saying that. I wonder though. Hmm. Obviously, she has a different colored dress. She like looks the same, right? But the situation in which Subaru saw her the first time was like weird, right? And yeah, and she certainly doesn't recognize Subaru, right? Certainly doesn't seem like it. Maybe she's keeping it a secret. I don't know why. Ryuzu Bilma. if you say so. Yeah. Okay. Subaru, come on. You can't say that to people. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, it seems like their souls are trapped here, right? Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So it's not just that you lose consciousness. The losing consciousness is just like a side effect of losing your soul. Hmm. Interesting. So I wonder what causes the losing consciousness when you enter then. Makes sense. Makes sense. Hmm. That's okay. Come on. Hmm. I'm surprised we haven't talked about why Subaru can do it, you know? Hmm. And Garfield, basically, my assumption from Garfield is that he can't do it, like he failed, right? Oh, okay. What's up, Amelia? Switching positions for once. Normally it's Subaru lying in the bed. Ah, it's cut like apologize immediately. Come on. Like, you don't need to do that. It's not your fault. That's okay. Come on. Okay, yeah, how scandalous you reached out to him. Like uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, does she want to? Is she able to do that? Yeah. I how much does she remember of it? Interesting. Yeah, because I mean it's called the Sanctuary for a reason, right? I mean, Because my assumption is this kind of is a safe place for half-bloods that do seem to be victims of some kind of, discrimination similarly to Amelia, right? The assumption would be that at least. Hmm. Interesting. And it makes sense, I guess, that they would develop that kind of line of thinking being isolated for so long anyway, right? Hmm. Interesting. Yes, yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? When they left. Yeah. Well, and it's not Frederick. I mean, it seems like it's Rosewall, right? This is all part of Rosewall's plan, right? I mean, hmm. Yeah. It just really seems like we're messing with stuff that we're just man. Mm. Yeah. It's really like we're just messing with stuff that we don't understand. This all seems so much bigger than what we are doing right now. And we just have no idea what's happening, right? Like I mean, because there's so many different players in this game right now, and we just don't understand it all. Oh God, I'm surprised she was able to go back and do it again. Because like, what is she facing exactly? I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. What does that mean? You're one of the people who wants freedom, right? Okay, sure. Kind of dodged the question, frankly. Mm-hmm. We don't really know. I don't think they have the greatest relationship, though. It seems like it. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, oh, no. I, ah, God, we can't just keep have her doing this over and over again. She's gonna go crazy, right? I mean, it makes me almost wonder if this is Yeah. We'll talk about it later. A bit of conspiracy. Thank you, Rosewall. Hmm. Okay, he would be doing that anyway. Don't you worry. Yeah. Sure. Well, I suppose you're spelling it out like this kind of specifically, like I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Rosewall. Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. Well, what would have been different? She would have not done this, you know? Sure. Right. Yeah, yeah. But we made it through, right? I mean, the problem is that's what Rosewall can just say, you know, is that it was all fine in the end. But it's just the burden is just all being pushed onto Subaru. Yeah, exactly, right? How infuriating that is, you know. Of course. God, and what's so frustrating is that Rim died essentially because of this, and Ram doesn't care because she doesn't remember Rim. So exactly, yeah, like yeah. All worked out perfectly for Rosewall, huh? God, because she would have what? Lost her nerve? Would have stopped, right? Yeah, wouldn't have believed in herself. Awesome, good, right, perfect. Uh huh. Okay, right, sure. It's like it gives Amelia standing in the royal selection, right? Uh huh. Man. Mm-hmm. Man. But it's, again, it's from Roswell's perspective. It's like it all just worked out perfectly, right? Yeah. Well, no, I mean, mm-hmm. It's like Subaru is truly just being used. It's like he's being used as a tool by someone who doesn't even understand they're using him. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, if he hadn't succeeded, right? But it did. But they did, right? And that's what he can always say. Yeah, he can just say I had faith, and it just worked out like that, right? Oh my god. Uh huh. Ah, man. I'm starting to wonder though. I mean, there's no way Roswell actually knows, right? That he actually knows what's up with Subaru. And the fucking infuriating thing is we need Rosewall too, right? I mean, but it's just pushing everything onto Subaru, right? Interesting. No, it really makes you wonder. Because that would be so fucking stupid. Yeah, like, come on. That'd be so stupid of Rosewall. I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Well, yeah, what are your feelings, Amelia? Because here's the thing: is this is some responsibility being pushed onto her, right? Well, I don't know if that's a good thing to say, because that's just going to make her feel even more responsible that she has to do it, right? And maybe, yeah, right? Like maybe that's a good thing, right? Maybe it's good that she won't give up immediately. That's her duty. Right, sure. And maybe that's the idea. Maybe we should believe in Amelia more, right? Sure. Shoulder that for her. That's something that you I wish you would shoulder for her, frankly. Because that's something she really gets in her own head about a lot. Okay. Oh, okay. Sure. Right. Awesome. The hostage situation is over. That makes sense, though. No, that makes sense, though. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, Amelia's trapped here anyway, right? So we gotta get her out. We don't really need the hostage situation if Amelia's here. She had one on, too. I don't know what the implication of that is, but... but she would be fiendish in other ways. Mm-hmm. And of course, we know it's all Rosewall. It's not Frederica. I mean, she's working with him, I guess, but of course, Ram wouldn't think it's all Rosewall's fault or whatever. Okay. 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 Interesting. That's I don't know what to make of that at all. As always, huh? Think about it. Every single line Amelia has said in this episode has been in some way something like that, right? Which is, oh, don't worry about me, worry about this instead. Yes. He's gonna ask him what he faced there exactly, or how he was able to beat it. Maybe. Oh, would that be allowed? Interesting. Because I wonder if that's what he failed at. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Interesting. I mean, it's not. I mean, it might not be about whether or not she wants to, right? It's just it depends on what we mean by overcome. It would be very hard to accept if the past that she's facing is killing everyone with ice magic accidentally. Then, I mean, yeah, that would be a pretty hard past to accept, right? Okay. Okay. Interesting. Sure. Okay. We made it back. We made it back. We have several things to do here at the mansion. What has happened while we were away, I wonder? This lighting is kind of ominous. Interesting. Where's Rem? Hmm. Oh, yeah. Where is she? Where is she? Yeah, that's what my head went to first as well, right? If everyone just left, I mean, did they just leave Rem here? We can't really do that, right? I assume they still have to feed her. I mean, Beatrice would still be here. Oh, fuck. What did we just trip over? Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh. Right. Of course. Okay, well, it had to happen sooner or later. It's her. It's her. What the fuck? It's the assassin lady. What was her name again? Oh my god. Why are you here? Why are you here? What are we doing? Why are you here? Oh my god. I have some crazy fucking ideas now. No, I'm after this talk we had with Rosewall in this episode, I have some fucking crazy ideas about her being back. That's for sure. Oh god, no spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about the episode and the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. Man, that was a good episode. That was so good. These two back-to-back episodes have been insane. We got a lot of stuff in this episode, and boy, oh boy, do I have some theories, I guess. To me now, it seems so obvious that it just has to be true. But you know what? You guys probably know what I'm talking about. We'll get there when we get there, when we get to the Rosewall stuff. Anyway, so to start here, I mean, there's still so much stuff that I don't, know what's going on, and that's intended, obviously. We have so many players and so many moving parts in all of this that it's really fucking hard to know what's happening. Everything. Well, I don't even know. Everything seems like it comes back to Echidna in a way, right? Puck is connected to Echidna, and he's not around for some reason. I assume it has something to do with what Amelia is going through right now, but I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the sanctuary that he can't be here. I don't know. Rosewall is connected to Echidna, right? He said that a few episodes ago. We talked about the deep connection between the Mathers family and them and Echidna for so long, right? And then Echidna herself is doing weird shit. The interesting thing about Echidna, of course, because I don't know who is working with who. I don't know if Echidna and Rosewall are sharing a goal or if they are both doing things. Because Echidna is wiping Subaru's memories of her every time. So it's not like Subaru can go up to Rosewall and be like, oh yeah, I was talking to Echidna. She said, what's up? Even though Rosewall seems like he's connected to Echidna, since she's wiping Subaru's memories and we don't have any way to know if Rosewall and Echidna are actually communicating with each other at all, I have no idea if whatever is going on here is some kind of shared goal between them or what. To me, Rosewall, I think at this point, a lot of his actions and previous things that have happened can all be boiled down to what we know about him from before, right? He really wants Amelia to ascend to the throne so that he could kill the dragon, which I still don't know what that means. I don't know the implications of killing the dragon. I don't know why he wants to do that. I don't know what is that's going to achieve, but he wants to do that. Everything he's doing and all of his actions go back to that, right? Echidna, I have no idea, right? There's weird shit with Echidna. She's a witch. We assume automatically she has some connection to Amelia because of that, right? Um, I don't know. Really couldn't tell you. And she's the Witch of Greed, which is scary because, What do we mean by greed exactly? Anyway, let's keep going, right? So Subaru spits some facts here at the beginning. She is rocking this uniform. Looks pretty good on her. I don't know. Very nice, very nice. I talked about this during the opening too. It's very interesting how the all this stuff about this being created through Subaru's memories, like Echidna created it with Subaru's memories, essentially, right? Again, it's interesting. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it than this, but it's interesting how this is a character now who knows about the world that Subaru came from, right? Like, they know that this other world exists, right? Is that just like a normal thing? Like, do all the witches know that there's a bunch of different worlds? How many different worlds are there? Is there Subaru's world, and then there's this other universe that they exist in, and there's a whole bunch of other ones, and like, I don't know, because like to me, if I was the Witch of Greed and I didn't know that this other world that Subaru came from existed, I would be having an existential crisis. But maybe she just already knew about it. It's just no big deal, right? Like I don't know. It's something, I guess. It's interesting. Again, it's like it's our first character that now it is a true connection between the world we were in before and this world, because I mean she knows about it now, at least through Subaru's memories if she didn't before, right? And I guess, again, if the idea is that the witches, I guess, are some transcendental entities that already knew about all this shit, right? Because I guess we can assume at least Satella did, because she assumedly brought Subaru to this world from his world, right? So, I mean, maybe they just all knew about it already, but it still feels like it's important in some way. So my feeling of this conversation here is, so for one, Echidna says all this weird shit about what Subaru just went through. And I don't know why, right? The whole idea was from the Face's past. For one, I don't know why I don't know why the trial is what it is. I don't know why she wants people to face their pasts or what that has to do with anything. I don't know why there's a trial here in the first place, right? Like, is she interested in someone passing the trial? But if I don't know. I don't know what the implications of this trial are, like what it means. Is it all just about Amelia? Does it all come back to Amelia? I don't know. That's what I was thinking, right? That's what I was thinking throughout this episode about how the fact that they were making Amelia go through this and making her face her past. Is all of this coming back to the idea of somehow making Amelia overcome her past? Is that what all of this is for? And that is in some way important to this apparently vast web of people that all want to use Amelia and Subaru to do nefarious things? Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But that's just the vague sense I get from it, right? I don't know, because there's some reason why the trial is what it is, right? And it's, I don't know. We don't have enough information. Couldn't tell you. But yeah, she made Subaru face his past and all of this, right? It's interesting how she immediately starts undermining his experiences, right? She immediately starts emphasizing how his parents weren't real. None of this was real. It was all just, crafted from your memories and all of this. And I don't really know why she's doing that, right? Why does she have an interest in trying to undermine the experiences he just had, right? Saying it was a selfish wish that they'd still love you, all of this stuff. Can you state with certainty that you do not seek any of that from your imaginary parents, right? Why does she want to undermine his experience here so much? Because it was the way I interpreted it before in their first meeting was it really felt like Echidna was trying to, like, weasel her way into Subaru's, like, favor, right? Like, she was really trying to seem so, I don't know, she was really putting on an act, it felt like, to really try and get Subaru, like, head over heels for her, essentially, right? She was really, I don't know, she was trying to, offering him to tell him anything that he wants to know, all the, the way she's just acting in general, right? Like, even putting on this uniform, she did this for Subaru, right? She, like, I don't know, and it feels like this whole, what she's doing here goes against that. I don't know why she'd be doing this. I feel like she's just risking Subaru freaking out at her by doing this. You know what I mean? I don't know why she wants to laugh at him about crying to his imaginary parents. I don't know. That's just mean. I don't know. Very strange. Couldn't tell you. I mean, it's interesting what she brings up. I mean, it's an interesting, like, I guess, like, philosophical thing to, like, think about, right? Whether or not it even matters if his parents were fake, right? If the parents that he saw were crafted from his emotions and seemed like such perfect copies of them, then, I mean, they essentially are real, right? You know what I mean? Like, he essentially did get to talk to his parents and reconcile with them, right? I mean, I guess it depends on, like, how you view that kind of thing, I suppose. But if it was real to Subaru, then it's real, you know what I mean? And I mean, if they were in some way essentially perfect copies of his parents, then it was essentially real by any other metric, right? I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to think about, I guess. I don't really think we're going to be delving any further into that, but hmm. Look forward to seeing how you handle the next question. I wonder what the next question is, and again, I wonder what Echidna gets from this trial stuff, right? Obviously, she's very interested in, like, knowledge, right? She's, you know, it's an interesting comparison, like greed and knowledge, right? There's things, I can see how you can connect those things. And I guess, I mean, certainly looking into Subaru's memories, she got some knowledge if she didn't already know all of this stuff, right? Hmm. Now, it is interesting, though, how if her goal is to weasel her way into Subaru's heart, maybe she did achieve that a little bit here, having Subaru thank her and all of this, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how suspicious to be of her. I mean, she's one of the witches. I feel like by default, I'm just very suspicious of her, especially her attitude and the way she's acting. Just really, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about all that. And it's interesting. Subaru says, yeah. Subaru immediately says he's not going through the next trial. It's going to be Amelia who does it, right? She gives a little smirk. And I don't know what to think of it. Because it could all come back to Amelia. Maybe the goal is to have Amelia go through it all. Maybe that's why the trial is the way it is, right? Because again, it's like we know the word. I wish the translation was like this, but the word for trial here is the same as the word they were using for ordeal before, right? The ordeal that they were talking about in the previous arc was something very specifically crafted for Amelia to go through, right? I mean, it was kind of different there. The ordeal in that sense was them all coming to murder her, right? A little bit different than what the Witch of Greed has set up, right? But if it's the same word, if it's the ordeal, then it being something specifically crafted for Amelia to go through would kind of make sense to me, right? Especially because it's like, the idea of facing your past is something that is so specific to Amelia as well, right? It's something that she hasn't done, right? Her, you know, from like the Frozen Bond, we know that her past and all that stuff is something completely unresolved for her, right? And it is something that I guess her facing it is meaningful. I don't really know how or why it's meaningful for all of these other characters, but interesting, I guess, right? I don't know, really makes you think that it does all come back to Amelia. Which, I mean, that's such an obvious thing to think, because obviously it seems like Satella's motivations all come back to Amelia, right? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, no, I mean, just, obviously I just mistrust Echidna, just by default, because it just seems like she's just the umpteenth person trying to use Subaru for nefarious purposes, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And God, Amelia is not doing a good job facing her past. But can you fault her for it, right? It's like she's shivering, right? It's like her teeth are clattering like she's experiencing cold, right? Saying it wasn't her. I mean, I guess just obviously the thing that you imagine she's facing here is whatever it was that she woke up from when Puck, like, came to her, right, in the Frozen Bond, right? Which was all of the other elves being frozen. You know what I mean? She has ice magic. Certainly seems like it could be Amelia who did all of that, right? I mean, we got like a shot of it in Frozen Bond, right? Someone freezing instantly, you know what I mean? So if that's the past that she's having to face, the reality that I guess it is her fault on some level, I doubt she did it purposefully, but since she doesn't remember, I guess we literally don't know, right? My default would be, oh, it's not her fault. I'm sure she didn't mean to freeze all the other elves, but she doesn't remember. She's kind of a completely different person now than she was before she lost her memories, right? So, I mean, it literally is possible that she did have a reason to do that before. Not that I'm saying I think that's likely. I think it's more likely that she didn't mean to. But I guess I don't really have a reason to think that other than it's like Amelia. The Amelia we know certainly wouldn't do that, right? But I mean, I don't know. It's something interesting to think about, right? But yes, I certainly imagine that is the past that she's having to face, right? And I mean, and I don't know, her insistence that it wasn't her, it makes me wonder, a third possibility, of course, is that it literally wasn't her, right? And that she has, on some level, blamed herself for it all along, right? That she, because of course, I mean, Amelia's not stupid, right? She knows she has ice magic. She knows all of those elves were frozen. I think she would have a suspicion in her mind that maybe it was her who did it, right? Um, so I wonder, I mean, if her past is formed from her memories by Echidna, and her memories on this matter are so hazy, even that alone, I mean, what she's experiencing could be completely different than what Subaru was experiencing. You know what I mean? Like, because she doesn't know if she did it or not. She lost her memories, right? I mean, seems that way, right? I mean, unless she's just suppressing them or something, you know? So it's possible that she actually isn't at fault for it, and that would explain her, you know, is saying over and over again that she's sure it wasn't her who did it. It wasn't me, right? I guess either way, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, right? I can imagine several possibilities with that. Oh man. And of course, and also that too, right? It's obviously such a big deal for her as a character, right? Having this kind of this origin story, I guess, of accidentally killing everyone that she cared about. Which just again, I mean, it explains so much about the reason why she acts the way she does, even if it's just like subconscious, right? Like the way she always puts other people over herself, like all the time, right? I mean, I think a lot of that can be explained through the discrimination she faces, right? Like I've talked about it a bunch of times, but it makes so much sense that she kind of has this automatic reaction to put other people over herself because her self-esteem has been ruined so much by the way other people treat her, right? But it's also, I feel like there's some like sense of she almost like wants to make up for what she did back then, right? If she does blame herself for it on some level or thinks it's her fault on some level, that kind of thing, right? This sense of like, oh, she just wants to be a good person in general because, you know, she feels like she has to make up for this horrible thing that she blames herself for from before, you know what I mean? Hmm. And there's no puck here. There is no puck here. And that certainly doesn't seem like a coincidence that there's no puck, right? Again, I mean, Puck and Rosewall and Echidna and all of these characters are all so linked to each other, and I don't know what they're doing, right? It all just seems like it comes back to Amelia, right? Because we know Puck and Echidna are so directly linked because of the beginning of the Frozen Bond, right? It was Echidna who gave Puck his duty of protecting Amelia like this in the first place, right? Now, at the end of the Frozen Bond, he kind of went against that by forming this contract with her, which he wasn't supposed to do. We don't really know the implications of that or what that means, right? They said the whole thing about you know the version of him ceasing to exist anymore, but unclear what we mean by that exactly, right? But it's interesting to me if Puck is some kind of participant in whatever the crazy shit that's going on right now is. That surprises me because like I don't think Puck would be down with Amelia going through all of this. You know what I mean? Um, unless it really is the idea that it's just, you know, I guess it's true that her facing her past would be like a good thing, I suppose, on like a conceptual level. I suppose that yes, her facing her past would be good to like, I don't know, get over it already. Right? No, I don't mean like that. But I mean like, yeah, I guess it would be a good thing to not be hung up on your frozen buddies in the forest forever. Um, but it does seem pretty torturous. It seems pretty rough what she's experiencing right now, right? But I guess the show itself kind of addresses that. Maybe I'm thinking too little of Amelia. Maybe I'm overthinking this, right? Maybe it is a good idea for her to go through with this. I don't really like that. But I don't know. I don't know. It depends on whether or not Puck is a participant in whatever's happening right now. I don't really know why else he would disappear through this arc, right? I mean, he's been gone. When did he disappear? He disappeared pretty much right after he had that talk with Subaru, right? Telling Subaru to take care of Amelia. In that case, I mean, it seems like Puck knew what was going to happen, right? Of course, the other option is perhaps Puck can't enter the sanctuary. Um, but I don't know. That feels too convenient. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Because it makes you wonder, right? The other, I mean, you know, there's literally so many options here. The other option is, of course, this area, this trial. It's so closely related to Echidna. Puck has a whole bunch of shit going on with Echidna. I don't know, maybe Puck doesn't want to meet Echidna. Maybe after Puck at the end of the Frozen Bond kind of went against their contract or whatever, he doesn't want anything to do with Echidna anymore. I don't know. It could be there's so many things it could be. So many things. So we talk about the fact that their souls are trapped in the sanctuary, which is interesting. Um, which, yeah, I mean, kind of answers because I had that same kind of question, right? And here's Pink Girl, Ryuzu, right? That was her name. Which, I don't know. Is it the same girl? Is it the same girl, or are they like twins? I don't. Maybe that's stupid to say. Certainly looks like the same girl, right? But it doesn't seem like they remember Subaru. They do have a different dress on. I don't know. It's a question. It is a question to be had, right? Especially because Ram stopped Subaru from saying anything. I don't know. And like obviously the circumstances in which Subaru saw her was like this weird fucking illusion shit going on. Like I don't know. I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't know. Certainly a question to be had there. I need to start taking notes for the show again. God damn it. It was so simple for so long. It was so easy to keep track of everything, you know? And now this arc, we have really fucking, it's blown up. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just brewed some leaves I picked up. Ryuzu Bilma. My duty to represent the community. Hmm. When one of mixed blood touches the barrier, it strips them of their consciousness. More specifically, it repels their soul. So this is interesting, right? That their souls are trapped here. Again, it makes you question, like, I don't know how far to go with this, right? Why did Echidna make this, right? Why did Echidna make this sanctuary where half-bloods get trapped here, right? What was her motivation for it? The crazy conspiracy answer is it's all because of Amelia again, right? The crazy conspiracy answer would be that all of this goes back to Amelia, and thousands of years ago, this was all set in motion just for Amelia to experience what she's experiencing now. I don't know if I want to go down that route because at that point, we're getting insane, right? I mean, maybe, right? But it's just we're getting ridiculous at that point. If we're going to start saying that everything that every character is doing is all this crazy web of plans just to make Amelia experience things so that stuff will happen, right? I mean, I don't know. But other than that, if I ignore that as a possible explanation, why did Echidna make this barrier and make this shit in the first place, right? Repels their soul. When a mixed blood tries to force their way through the barrier, their soul is separated from their body, and that alone stays inside the barrier, leaving an empty shell. Yeah. Hmm. Like, is there something Echidna would gain from that? Is there something... Ah, God, I just don't know. I just don't know. Hmm. Yeah, Ram said she made the tea with a bunch of random leaves that she found. So I don't know why you expected the tea to be very good. And that's why she gave it to Subaru at first, right? We were speaking only of making any attempt. It stands to reason that we could, but we cannot free the sanctuary. That is the contract that has been handed down among us residents of the sanctuary for generations. So I mean, I guess like I don't know what she means by this exactly, right? She says it's the contract that says they can't do it, but like is this a literal like if they passed through the trial, the sanctuary just wouldn't be freed, it would just do nothing? Or is this like some kind of like ritualistic, type thing where they just aren't allowed to do it for some reason? I don't know, right? Hmm. And it's interesting that she says this here because it kind of undoes some of my stuff with Garfield, right? Because what Garfield said in the last episode, and even later on in this episode, the stuff about overcoming your past, it seems like the idea of overcoming your past is something specific and like meaningful to Garfield as well, right? But I guess if we're just all brushing that aside by just saying, "Oh no, there's this other reason he can't do it," I mean, I guess, right? I don't really want to give up on the idea of it being meaningful to Garfield in some way, but I don't know. I don't know. Man, we have switched sides for once, huh? It's Subaru sitting next to Amelia's bed instead of it always being Subaru, you know? I feel like it's always Subaru lying down in the bed and someone talking to him, right? God, she immediately apologizes. If you counted the number of times that Amelia did something like this in this episode, immediately apologize for something that she does not need to apologize for, immediately put someone else's needs above her own, like, it's every fucking line, man. It's every time. She always does this. Like, God, she needs to get better at this kind of thing. It's at this point I'm like 100% sure that Amelia is in a worse mental state than Subaru is, right? Amelia needs to make much more progress on things than Subaru does, right? And that's crazy because Subaru was the one who really needed to work on stuff for so long. But no, like, Amelia, girl, we gotta make some progress here with like your self-image and the way you interact with people. Man, like, even her reaching out like this, like, yeah, sure, she gets embarrassed for a moment, right? And I guess, like, we play it off as, like, a joke, her just being embarrassed for reaching out for Subaru, right? But even just that little tiny thing of her reaching out for him, it's like, imagine why she did do that. Probably she wants some comfort at the moment because she, has been undergoing terrible psychological torture at the trial, right? And her immediate reaction to it is be like, oh, I shouldn't do that, you know what I mean? And I guess, yes, there's the weird, like, kind of, like, romantic thing that, like, played off as a joke, right? But it really, I think it's deeper than that. It really shows that, like, she does on some level think that reaching out for help in this kind of situation is, like, bad, I guess, right? I mean, it's just not good, right? Not good, because that's the implication I get from it, right? Again tonight. I mean, man, and like this is the kind of thing where it's like, am I underestimating her or is it because it seems so bad. It really seems like she's dreading it, you know what I mean? And like maybe I'm just underestimating Amelia. Maybe this is something that she can power through, that she can do. But when it seems so awful and it makes her suffer so much, it's so hard for me to say that yeah, she should just keep throwing herself against this brick wall and overcome her past, right? Like because it seems so terrible. It seems torturous, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Interesting that Ram was listening outside. I don't know. Not all of the residents are in favor of setting the sanctuary free. Only the heavy-handed people like Garf, led by Ryuzu-sama, are pushing for its freedom. There's a conservative faction that doesn't want the sanctuary to be freed. So I guess my interpretation of that is like, one, it is a bunch of half-blood people who are stuck here, right? And assumedly, just like Amelia does, probably not as extreme as Amelia. Amelia's kind of a special case, that they experience a lot of forms of discrimination on the outside, right? That it's, that I can understand. I mean, again, there's a reason why it's called the sanctuary, right? And assumedly, if this world probably mirrors our own in a lot of ways, I assume a long time ago, I assume the further back you go in the past, the worse the treatment of people with like half blood like this was, right? I assume there's kind of a march of progress, just like in the real world, right? So I assume even then, if people here have memories of what it was like on the outside, they probably think it was even worse than it is now, right? So you can't really blame them for wanting to have this sanctuary where they feel like they're, like, protected, right? And of course, the other thing to it as well is, like, being isolated for so long as well would also lead them to this too, right? That's kind of a double whammy there, you know what I mean? Like, after being isolated for so long, it would be so easy to fall into like this kind of, conservative mindset of, oh, we should just stay here forever, we don't want to go out into the outside world, right? I feel like, I don't know, that makes sense. Like, isolationism, right, kind of compounds on itself as time goes on, you know what I mean? Kind of explains like their treatment of like the villagers and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Because like I guess they are outsiders, right? I don't know. It was Frederica who gave Amelia some of the glowing stone. So Ram is saying it's all Frederica that has a plan in mind, right? But it's not, right? Based off what Frederica said when they left in the carriage, right? She said, "Oh, this is all Rosewall's plan going into action," essentially, right? I mean, she didn't say that literally, but that's basically what she said, right? No, this is all Rosewall, right? It makes sense why Ram would not want to think this is all Rosewall's plan, I guess, right? Because she's number one Rosewall fan, right? She wouldn't doubt Rosewall for a second, I feel like, which is so fucking infuriating because of the shit about Rim. We'll talk about that when we get to that conversation. But it makes sense, I guess. But it's like, since this is all Rosewall's plan, Like, what's the goal here? What is Rosewall's goal here? What are we doing here? What's happening? Why are we here? What's going on? Like, what is this all just for the sanctuary to be freed? Why does Rosewall want the sanctuary to be freed? Or does he want Amelia to go through the trial? Right? Because again, if based off the way the witches' cults were using the same word for ordeal and stuff, right? That was something specifically crafted for Amelia to go through, right? That was very specifically, she has to go through this ordeal, assumedly to do, to make sure she's like a fitting vessel for Satella or whatever. That kind of seemed like the vibe from what Petalgeese was saying, right? So this is another ordeal, specifically something that Amelia needs to go through. Is that why Rosewall has brought her here? Is that what this all comes down to? Is for Amelia to go through this trial? That's the whole point. That's the whole reason we're here? Maybe. Or does he want the sanctuary freed for some reason? Because that is deeply tied to Echidna, and he does have this relationship with Echidna. Maybe? Do they both have the same goal? Am I just overthinking it and they're both just working together? Maybe, but then like Subaru, but it's weird because it certainly seems like she has some ulterior motives herself, right? I mean, if anything, it seems like Echidna would be higher up on the ladder than Rosewall, right? I wouldn't put it past Echidna to be the one manipulating Rosewall, even in some sense, right? I don't fucking know. There's too much. There's too much. God, there's too much going on. To the ones who oppose setting the sanctuary free, the best way to assure they get what they want is to harm Amelia-sama. Yeah. Don't let your guard down for a second. So, I mean, that's good to know, right? Of course, that if anyone tries to harm Amelia... I don't know. I guess we're not gonna know this time, because Subaru fucking died, so who knows. Oh, God, and she's going through it again. Hence, Garfield into Ram. That's gonna be, I feel like that he might be biting off more than he can chew there. I don't know. I think Ram is more than a match for him. I don't know. We don't want a short nap for a Morlock to be a whole day's sleep for the rest of us. What the hell does that mean? What are these analogies he keeps using? Like, what is he talking about? I like how Subaru just completely ignores it. I like how Subaru just does not acknowledge what he said at all. Is there something you want to do after getting out of the barrier? And Garfield kind of ignores the question, which is interesting. It makes me wonder if there is something very specific Garfield wants to do, right? I don't know. Is there some... I don't know. I guess we don't know enough about Garfield to say, right? But the way that he does kind of avoid this and doesn't... I don't know. Am I overthinking it? I don't really think so. I think there has to be something specific, right? To go this far, to want to get out, right? I mean, obviously it makes sense, right? But taking so many people hostage, doing all this stuff, I don't know. And yeah, and it seems like Garfield and Frederica do not have a very good relationship. And Amelia cannot face it. Unable to pass through the trial, the first step of it. And yeah, this is just the first step. I feel like there's no way the later steps can be worse than this one for Amelia, right? Like, man. What's up, Rosewall? Just learning you cannot lose your right to undergo the trial is something. Sure is, I suppose. So, Rosewall kind of goes mask off here. I wonder why he decided... Well, no, I think I kind of... I don't know. It is interesting he decides to just tell Subaru all of this. I don't know. Because we kind of preface the conversation by Rosewall trying to assure Subaru that they're on the same side, right? He tries to assure him, like, oh yeah, we both just want what's best for Amelia, right? He kind of prefaces the dropping the bomb here by saying all of this, right? Yeah, we're partners in crime, right? We're in this together, I guess Subaru's already fucking mad at him, so I guess Rosewall probably already knew this, right? But Rosewall is kind of the... Oh, I don't want to say he's at fault for everything. Because it all comes down to how much Rosewall knows, right? But Rosewall knew that the witch's cult was going to attack, right? Of course he did, right? it seems like everyone knew what was going to happen, essentially. I mean, like, right when it started happening, everyone was like when Subaru was telling the other royal candidates about it in the last arc, right? It seems like it was no fucking surprise, right? They were like, oh, yeah, what did she think was going to happen when she started? Ferris was kind of saying the same thing, right? Um, yeah, it seems like everyone kind of knew what was going to happen. You know what I mean? As a knight, your performance was commendable. God, what a fucking scornful thing to say. You can just hear the sarcasm dripping off that, right? Like, so Rosewall is kind of at the center of everything, I guess, right? Like, he knew the witch's cult was going to attack, and he let it happen. So he let it happen essentially to allow Amelia to go through this ordeal, right? Okay, there's multiple layers to it, right? The reason he's stating essentially is it allowed Amelia to like get more favor in terms of the royal selection, right? Like, because Amelia and her camp dealt with the white whale through Subaru, dealt with all of this shit, right? We dealt with the witch's cult, right? In the last arc, like when Subaru brought all this up to God, what's her name? Krush, right? She was saying like, oh, it's like if Amelia failed to do this, it would show that she's, unfit to be the ruler anyway, right? So obviously we can assume that her succeeding and fighting off the witch's cult, obviously that's gonna garner her some favor in terms of the whole royal selection stuff, right? Rosewall knew that was going to happen. Rosewall knew he had to not be there, right? He needed to leave, because obviously the assumption is Rosewall would easily have been able to handle all of that if he was here, right? It makes you think of stuff earlier too, right? But first off, right? So Amelia went through all this, garnered some favor with that, right? The other interesting thing is, of course, because the witch's cult was there, Amelia also went through the first trial, the first ordeal, right? Which is also what we're doing right now, right? We're going through a trial, an ordeal, which is specifically crafted for Amelia to go through it. I don't, and like we know Rosewall has a weird connection to Echidna. I don't know how far to go with this, right? Does this have to do with Satella as well? I don't know. But it's interesting that now two of Rosewall's plans have resulted in Amelia going through these ordeals as well, right? Now let's think even earlier for Rosewall, right? About what he's doing. The arc before that, after Subaru was at the mansion, right? Like when they went off to go fight all the fucking beasts in the woods, right? Rosewall was gone then too. Isn't that interesting that Rosewall also wasn't here when that happened? I mean, I brought this up before, right? About how it's interesting that Rosewall's always gone. And especially now that we know the reason he wasn't here for this case was literally so that, Amelia, it could seem like Amelia was the one who did it so that she would get more favor, right? I mean, it had to be. That's why he did it in that arc as well, right? The exact same reason, right? And I guess what this really makes me think is with Rosewall insisting that the only reason he did all of this because he trusted Subaru and he knew he could get through with it, if that's really Rosewall's only reason and he doesn't know anything about Return by Death, Subaru's ability to do anything, then Rosewall's a fucking idiot, right? It makes me think, like, Rosewall has a connection to Echidna. Echidna knows about Return by Death, right? Does Rosewall know about Return by Death? Because if he doesn't, he's fucking stupid, right? Because 99 times out of 100, I guess we did a little bit better than that, but still, Amelia would have died with what Rosewall did. You know what I mean? Like, so it really makes me think Rosewall has to know about Return by Death, right? He fucking has to. If he doesn't, I don't know, right? Like, it wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense to me if he doesn't know about Return by Death at this point. And because it seems like he's teasing. It literally seems like he's like fucking winking at the camera and saying, oh yeah, I know about Return by Death. When in a minute in this conversation, he says all that stuff about how, oh, I just trusted you. I knew you were going to be able to do it, wink, wink. Like, and Subaru even points it out too, right? Subaru even points it out too about how it seems like he was such a loser. He was at rock bottom at that moment. How on earth would Rosewall have known that Subaru was going to be able to do anything? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense unless Rosewall knows about Return by Death. He has to. And we have a potential means for how he would know about it too, right? He has a connection to Echidna, right? That alone could be enough, So, I mean, I don't know. But as I'm saying that, it's interesting because Echidna did say something about how she's like unable to materialize in front of people other than Subaru, right? Um, it was something like that, right, in their first meeting. So direct communication between Echidna and Rosewall, I don't know how possible that is, right? So that makes you wonder, how would Rosewall know about Return by Death, right? But he just has to. He just literally just has to. Like, I just have no other explanation for it, right? The fucking incredibly infuriating thing about this conversation that they have here, too, is like, so for one, right? The incredibly infuriating thing about what Rosewall is doing is it's pushing all of this obscene, horrible responsibility onto Subaru alone, right? Like, he is fully using Subaru as a tool for Return by Death to get everything done, right? Um, and okay, one other thing I want to say. It's also possible that Rosewall doesn't know about Return by Death, and he knows that somehow Subaru can always achieve anything, right? It's possible that Echidna, if there's some kind of conversation, some kind of like connection between Echidna and Rosewall, some kind of communication is possible. It's possible Echidna didn't tell him any details, and all Rosewall knows is that Subaru can do anything, right? Like, all he could have been told is, oh, Subaru can achieve anything ever and you can rely on him completely, right? He might not know any of the details at all, right? I guess that's just important to bring up, because if he actually knew directly about Return by Death, well, I don't know. I was thinking like that's interesting then, because it's like then he could just kill Subaru at any moment. He could use Subaru as a tool much more directly, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's not that important. But the really infuriating thing about what Rosewall is doing is, of course, he's pushing all of this responsibility onto Subaru. And from Rosewall's perspective, it's like everything's just gone perfectly fine, right? That is the fucking infuriating, horrible thing, right? Is Rosewall can always just say to anything Subaru would ever bring up to him, oh, but everything worked out in the end, right? So it's all okay, you know? Like, God, it's so fucking infuriating. And the only lasting consequence of essentially what Rosewall has done here, right? I guess you can't blame it all on Rosewall because it is the witch's cult's fault, I suppose, right? Um, it's the witch's cult's fault, I suppose, and what would the answer be otherwise? To just have Amelia not do anything ever because the witch's cult is going to attack, right? Like, yeah, I guess you can't say it's all Rosewall's fault, but Rosewall knew what was going to happen, right? So I'm still blaming it on Rosewall. Rim's fucking death, essentially, her erasure from existence, is something that the person who is closest to him doesn't even fucking remember. Rim doesn't even remember. I mean, Rim doesn't even remember Rim. And, like, that's the one thing that if she remembered would be something that would make her turn on Rosewall, right? Not even that I'm saying that would be good. I don't know if we should turn on Rosewall or not. I don't know if Rosewall's evil. I don't know what to think about Rosewall. But all I know is that seeing this, it fucking pisses me off so much. Seeing that this is the one thing that obviously would change Ram's mind completely about Rosewall, but because of how it went down, she doesn't care and she doesn't remember. So, like, God fucking damn it, it's so annoying. Oh my god. There's but one answer to all these questions. To ensure I would not have to confront the witch's cult myself, I personally led these events to happen. After all, if I had solved the problem myself, there'd be no way for Amelia Salma nor you to claim any credit. Of course, yeah, it had a tremendous effect, right? And it all worked out in the end, right? We got it all, it's all great, right? The attitudes of the villagers now are drastically different than before the witch cult attacked. Yeah. And that's another thing, right? Is also the arc before that, like when Subaru first appeared in the mansion, right? For one, it makes you think too. It's like, I feel like it would be very possible for Rosewall to just figure out that Return by Death exists too, just by like observing Subaru. You know what I mean? Observing the way Subaru is and the way he acts. It all depends on what Rosewall knows and what he doesn't, I suppose, right? But Subaru's actions have been pretty, like, especially now, if he somehow didn't know before, he has to literally know for sure now, right? Like, that Subaru seemed like such a loser before, and then in 5 seconds he changed so much, killed the white whale, fucking saved the day, killed Petal Geese, did all this insane shit, right? Rosewall has to know about Return by Death. Or if not Return by Death, just Subaru's ability to do something, right? Like, oh my god. Do you have any idea how many people died because you disappeared and kept everyone in the dark? But here's the thing, right? The deaths that Subaru's thinking of, which is he's thinking more so about all of the horrible shit he went through in the loops, right? Roswell can just say none of that happened, right? From Roswell's perspective, none of that did happen, right? Like, it's all, none of that happened, right? Yeah, yeah. Like, what if I was still useless trash that couldn't do anything? If none of the villagers or Amelia could have been saved, I had faith. Like, that's what I mean, right? I trusted you would do anything in your power for Amelia-sama, give your best effort in establishing an alliance with Krush-sama, put your life on the line to stop the witch cult's attack, and that you would do all of this masterfully, right? The way he's so specific about it, it's almost like he knew what Subaru was going to do, right? It's almost like he knew the exact action Subaru was going to take, right? The way he's so specific here, right? Because he doesn't even say, like, oh, I just knew you'd pull through. No, he even says, oh, I knew you would do it by forming an alliance with Krush and doing all of this stuff. And, yeah, put your life on the line to stop the witch cult's attack and do all of this. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like he knew exactly what Subaru was even going to do beforehand, right? Like, he has to know. He has to know. Like, I only became a little less useless because of all that happened after that, and no one else even has any idea what happened after that. Yeah, it's like, and Subaru's not even hiding it at this point. He's essentially just talking about Return by Death, right? Oh my god. Yeah, no, Roswell has to know. Roswell has to know. For the sake of her change to the royal selection, it would not do to create friction between her and myself or the villagers. Of course, right? Because we need Rosewall. We need Rosewall, which is so fucking infuriating, right? Especially because we know, I mean, I guess Subaru doesn't know, but we know at least that he's all doing this for ulterior motives, too. We don't really understand why. But it's fucking crazy how everyone around us is using Subaru or Amelia or both of them for some nefarious purposes that we don't even understand, right? Like, fuck. I knew you would make a fitting accomplice. He just knows. He knows. He knows. God damn it, he knows. Fuck. Starting a conversation off with Amelia apologizing, take a shot. Like, God. Hmm. It all just depends on your own feelings now. My own feelings. See, this is my struggle with Amelia here, right? We're talking about her own feelings, right? We're talking about the importance of her own feelings in this case, which is something that she always ignores, right? She never thinks about her own feelings in the way that she should. She is always very, like, she always puts others' feelings above her own, right? And she really shouldn't do that, right? So, but at the same time, the conflict here is maybe I should believe in her more. Maybe this is a situation where her being able to put her feelings aside and do this anyway is like a good thing for her to do, like through her own willpower. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. I mean, Subaru goes through this great though. Like he's not telling her what to do. He's purely just asking her what to do, right? But he still kind of does like the way that he says, like, the way he emphasizes that this is freeing the sanctuary, right? I don't know. I don't know. It's putting a lot of weight on her shoulders, right? But maybe being able to handle weight on her shoulders is what she needs to experience, because we've talked about that before, how it seems like she's somehow always avoided responsibility, not through her own actions, but by the actions of people around her, right? It's always that other people just do things and figure stuff out before she has the ability to do it herself, right? So maybe this is what she needs, right? Maybe. Maybe. Don't say that, Amelia. Come on. Hmm. And yeah, I mean, and thank God this is exactly what I want, right? Is these worries about other people that Amelia always has. That's something that I wish she would push on to Subaru, or something that Subaru at least can take willingly, right? Not her pushing it onto him, right? But something that he can take and handle that she doesn't have to worry about. Because that's what she's always worried about, is other people, you know? Hmm. So we're letting the villagers go. We're letting them go. Um, Subaru was able to convince Garfield. Good to know. Good to know. I mean, they became good buddies, right? But I guess the hostage situation is over. I mean, kind of. The hostage situation has kind of been replaced with Amelia. Because, like, if Amelia is trapped here, obviously we're not giving up on, on anything, you know? And Ram, I don't know. Ram is very suspicious of Frederica, but of course she is. Because she's not suspicious of Rosewall, right? Anyway, message from Rosewall. If you're worried about having to face Frederica, turn to Beatrice Sama and tell her this. Rosewall said to ask the question. What does that mean? I don't know. Seems that once she hears that, something will happen. That's what Rosewall Sama said. If I had to guess what that something is, it's probably she's going to ask someone a question. So, there's my prediction on that one. Subaru keeps getting blessings as he leaves, doesn't he? Got this blessing from Petra, got this blessing from Amelia, got a blessing from his parents. He's a blessed guy. And yeah, I mean, here's just the thing with Garfield. I don't really know what to say about it other than him. So he says that Subaru could go through the trial instead of Amelia, which is interesting. He also says, is it even necessary to overcome your past? Which I just feel like that's a line that has to be very meaningful to Garfield personally, right? The way he says it, but I don't know. Don't really have any more information, so I couldn't tell you. Can expect what you want from her, but does she really want to overcome her past? It's an interesting thing to say. Like, what do we mean by overcome her past, right? I don't know. It depends what we mean by overcome. Like, come to terms with it would be because that's kind of what it seems like Subaru did, was he just came to terms with his past, right? Which is certainly something I imagine Amelia should be able to do, right? I don't know. And he gives him blue necklace. So we can come back. And we show up at the mansion, and no one's here other than Elsa. So what does this mean? To me, it's obvious at this point, right? Rosewall hired Elsa. Right? We never got an explanation for why or who it was that hired Elsa to steal the royal medallion from Amelia in the first arc, right? No, it was Rosewall. Rosewall did it. It's always been Rosewall. Rosewall hired her in the first arc too, for like, I assume for the same reason, right? For this whole weird shit about, having Amelia overcome stuff that helps her gain standing in the royal selection, and also maybe some other purposes, the weird Amelia shit, right? No, it has to be Rosewall, right? Why else would Elsa be here, right? Like, no, it has to be Rosewall who hired her. So, I mean, thank God we got all that figured out. That it's all, like, yeah, it just has to be, right? Like, so that's great. Yeah. And, and, like, the fact that I don't know how much to say Rosewall must know then, right? Like, how much does Rosewall know about Return by Death? Like, because if he hired Elsa all the way back at the very beginning, which he must have, right? It has to have been him. Then that's fucking crazy. Did he know that Subaru was, like, going to exist before he even met Subaru, right? Like, did he have knowledge of Return by Death's existence before Subaru even, like, showed up? You know what I mean? Was he just told by Echidna, oh yeah, Subaru's gonna be showing up with Return by Death? Like, I don't know. Because again, it's like the shit that Rosewall is doing seems so insane, right? If he doesn't know about Return by Death. Especially if he's the one who hired Elsa in the first arc, right? And it's like he had to have been. It had to have been him. We never got an explanation for it, right? We got all of this stuff revealed about Rosewall in this episode, and now Elsa shows up again. It's just like reminding us, oh yeah, remember in the first arc when Elsa showed up, right? That was also Rosewall. It had to have been. So, yeah. That's great. A step forward. One step forward, two steps back, maybe. I hope not. That was a fucking crazy episode. That's the longest discussion we've ever had for this show, I think. But we had a lot to talk about. God damn it. I'm the #1 Rosewall hater now, so I don't know. Do we really need to kill the dragon? Is that really that important? Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Okay, well, that's the end, I guess. What's going to happen where's Subaru's respawn point going to be? I assume his respawn point is going to be already inside of the sanctuary, right? It'd be kind of crazy if it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, we got it all figured out. So yeah, I guess that's it. Subscribe, please, if you enjoy my videos. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. And I will see you in the next one.